Amazing sports fans. Hello to you all. I hope everyone is well, staying cool with this hot summer weekend. I'm Coach Ed Gladney, and this is Coach Ed's Amazing World of Sports. Thank you guys for tuning in today. I'm doing a little retro appeal today, so that's why you see a little 1970 television. This is in honor of the Giants announcing their retro uniforms for the upcoming season. All right, I hope you enjoy the show. I'll be continuing with the series, the 10 strong New York Football Giants. Now, the position I'm going to talk about today is the tight end position. Now, I know tight ends have not been very well received the past few years, but we're hoping that things have changed with the new coaching staff and the new management with several of the players that have been brought in. Now, I'm going to talk about the 6 players that I've seen that I notice on the roster um, and go over their skill sets, stats, little things like that. Now, the players that I'm going to be talking about, they're Jordan Akins, Austin Allen, Daniel Bellinger, Andre Miller, Chris Myrick, and Ricky Seals-Jones. That's a mixture of young players as well as veteran players. Some very interesting points. I'm going to address their statistics, some of their statistics, their measurables, and an interesting point that I found in doing my research. The one thing that I did find is quite a few of the tight ends were former wide receivers. So that lets me know that there's going to be a good emphasis put into the tight ends and what they can bring to the table. So hopefully this will help enhance the offense and give Daniel Jones or whoever's at quarterback an opportunity to have players that can be explosive or reliable for them. Now, the first tight end I'm going to go over is Jordan Akins. Akins is a 6'3", 250-pound, 5-year veteran out of UCF. He's played in 58 games. Now, his career statistics are 114 receptions for 1,260 yards, an 11.1 average, 3 touchdowns. He's also accumulated 63 first downs, 20-plus yardage of 15, a 40-plus yardage of 1. He's had 2 rushes for 7 yards, 3.5 average, and no touchdowns. 2 of those rushes were for first downs. He's had 2 fumbles, and both of those were lost. Now, his best year in the NFL was with the Texans in 2020, 37 receptions, 403 yards, 10.9 average, 1 touchdown, 20 first downs, 7 20-plus, and 0 40. Now, in terms of looking at his scouting report, he was a former baseball player. And then when he came back to football, he was actually a wide receiver before he transitioned to tight end. He's athletic. He does well with the yak yards, which is attributed to his wide receiver skills. He has good speed, for a tight end. He does have good use of his hands when he's catching the pass. Now, some of the things that he needs to work on is he can be considered a one-dimensional player, as he's not a good blocker. That's one of the things that he definitely needs to work on, understanding the use of good leverage, getting stronger, and playing with a wide base. That's some of the things, the scouting report that I have on him. Next up is Austin Allen, 6'9", 255-pound. He's a undrafted rookie out of Nebraska. He's played at Nebraska. He played in 29 games, 65 receptions for 975 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 rush for 2 yards at a 2-yard average, and no touchdowns rushing. Best year was 2020, 38 receptions, 602 yards, average of 15.8 and 2 touchdowns. Now, when you look at when you look at Allen, one of the things that you notice is that he's a tall tight end, 6'9". He's definitely tested, having played in the Big Ten, so he's going up against good competition. He has good size right now. He's smart and intuitive. He's a hand catcher and he has very soft hands. He's very good at high pointing the ball, so he definitely goes up to get the ball. Um, Now, some of the things is he has pattern limitations, and what I mean by most of the patterns that I saw him working on, or Nebraska is using him with, it was in the flats, the shallow crossers, sit in corners. So he's definitely going to need to expand his game in the NFL. He needs to get stronger and gain a little bit more weight, especially to be in the NFL and working with the blocks. He also needs to learn how to use better leverage in the blocking game. Um, that being that he's so tall, he has to learn how to play with better pad level. Otherwise, he's going to get taken advantage of. Um, Next is Daniel Bellinger, 6'5", 253 pound, fourth round draft pick this year out of San Diego State. At San Diego State, he's played in 31 games. He has 60 receptions for 771 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has 2 rushes for -4 yards at a -2 yard average, 0 touchdown. Best season was this year, his senior season, 31 receptions, 357 yards, 11.5 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Now, he does have good height and weight. He moves very smoothly. He's very flexible and he's very athletic. I mean, looking at the scouting report, that goes into the smoothness with the way he runs. He's a good catcher, pass catcher. He definitely uses his hands well. He's good with his blockings, as he can definitely move people when he gets into them. Now, he does need to refine and get better control of his blocking techniques, because there are times when he does get a little erratic or comes out of his staying low within his blocking mechanics. Um, he needs to he will not run away from defenders, because he's basically not fast. So in the passing game, we're going to need to scheme him open at times. You can't always rely on him just using athleticism to run away from guys in that regard. And one of the things that I'm interested in is his transition from San Diego State to the NFL, because that's definitely a step up in terms of competition. The next is Andre Miller, 6'3", 224, undrafted rookie out of Maine. He was a wide receiver in college. He's played in 38 games. He has 104 receptions for 1,848 yards, 14 touchdowns, 1 touchdown for 25 yards, and no touchdowns. His best year was this year, 2021. 39 receptions, 684 yards, 17.8 average, 3 touchdowns, and uh, the plus 20 is, or plus 20 is 1 for 25 yards. He's a hard worker. One of the things I found is that initially he didn't get into Maine. He had to go play Division III for a year. So he worked hard to improve his grades before he transferred back into Maine. He has good speed. He runs very good routes, which is a wide receiver skills. He does make very good contested catches and high points to high points to ball. He has excellent body control and contortion, especially towards the sideline with the use of his feet. He has very good hands, and he knows when to use them as opposed to letting the ball get into his body. And he's able to run the full route tree in the passing game. Now, one of the biggest things is a level of competition because he's coming from the FCS level. It's not even the low FBS level; it's the FCS. So stepping up in competition. Of course, transitioning from wide receiver to tight end, especially at the NFL level. Blocking. He needs to gain weight and get stronger to handle the physicality in the NFL. And if he gains weight, does that take away from his athletic ability? Because that's a concern that I do have with him. Next, I'm going to talk about is Chris Myrick, 6'5", 261 pounds, second-year player out of Temple. He's played in 11 NFL games, but all of those are with the New York Giants. He has 3 receptions, 17 yards, 5.7 average, 2 touchdowns, um, and 2 first downs. No 20 plus or no 40 plus. Sorry, all his stats aren't with the Giants. He also has some with the Dolphins. He's a former walk-on at Temple. He's a hard and dedicated worker. He's smart, as he has a BA in marketing and a master's in innovation management and entrepreneurship. He's versatile where he can play tight end and fullback. He has decent hands as he's made 2 spectacular catches, one for the Dolphins, which was a Hail Mary, and one, of course, with the Giants, where, at the goal line, he went down low and kept the ball from hitting the ground and maintained it in between his legs. He's a strong blocker who plays with good pad level, and he does maintain his blocks, and so he's not easily discarded. Now, he is limited in the passing game, so he doesn't have a great passing tree to work from. He's below average to average in speed. He needs to play with better angles in the passing game and improving his catching itself. And the last one is Ricky Seals-Jones, 6'5", 243, 6-year out of Texas A&M. He's played in 54 games, 90 receptions for 1,044 yards, 11.6 average, 10 touchdowns, 48 first downs, 16 20 plus, 2 40 plus, and 1 fumble, with that being lost. Best year 2018, 34 receptions for 343 yards, 10.1, 1 touchdown, 20 plus, and 14 first downs. Now, he's a former wide receiver in college who made the transition from wide receiver to tight end. He's very athletic. He's good. He has very good playing speed. He's good at high pointing the ball, has good hands. He works well. Sorry, hold on. He works well at stacking the defender that he's working with to gain his good leverage and good separation. And he plays with good physicality. Now, he's not a good inline blocker, as he needs to improve his blocking and his blocking angles, as well as knowing how to drive. And he has a tendency of rounding his patterns when he's in the passing game. So he needs to do a better job of being fundamentally sound and running his patterns. Now, the players who I think are going to make the roster, is actually going to be Daniel Bellinger, Ricky Seals-Jones, and Jordan Akins. If we keep 4, and then it's going to be Austin Allen. Now, Austin Allen and Jordan Aiken are going to be fighting for that 3rd spot. I really believe that. But I think those are the 3 that are going to make it. Andre Miller is a project. If anything, he'll make the practice squad. But Myrick is definitely going to get cut. And like I said, Akins, if he doesn't make the team, he's cut. And then Allen, if he doesn't make the roster, he's going to go to the practice squad. So that's my take on the tight end position. I'd like to hear your thoughts. Am I off base with it? Or do you see different players making the roster? So definitely comment and let me know. Also, like, subscribe, share across all social media platforms, and turn on the notifications so you know when I'm going to be doing new postings. So I hope you guys really enjoyed today's show. I thank you guys for tuning in. To all the members of the Big Blue Crew, thank you for all of your support. I'm going to keep working hard to bring you guys some more interesting content. And as I always say in sports, make sure you turn it on and turn it up. Peace.